Hi everyone, this is Kate McCain, one of your instructors for ALEC 302, and I am here with the announcements for Week 3. Week 3 is going to run from May 29th to June 4th. I understand that Monday is a holiday, so please make sure you manage your time wisely throughout this week if you plan on taking Monday off to celebrate Memorial Day. So what's happening this week? Excuse me, this week you're going to be reading about diversity and interdependency in organizations, developing power, influence, and authority, and we'll have a short introduction to servant leadership, which will help you with your group assignment that is due on Sunday of this week. You will be looking more heavily at servant leadership in the following week 4. Some important notes and reminders for week 3. First, we'd like you to note that your quizzes are one of your quizzes is being offered in a different format this week. You have one multiple choice reading comprehension quiz, which is the similar format from weeks 1 and 2. And then you have one replacement quiz, which is like a mini assignment, and it's equal to a quiz grade, so 10 points. Please understand that a replacement quiz does not mean it's replacing a lower quiz grade. It's just in replacement to a multiple choice comprehension quiz. So we're trying to offer the quizzes in a variety of different formats to meet a variety of different learning styles within the class. Also this week, we're not asking for any assignments to be submitted by Friday, but again, it's really up to you on how you manage your time. Of course, you're always welcome to submit assignments early. We just don't want any assignments late. This week, your readings will be heavily from your Cotter textbook. We've kind of chunked it out into 2 different parts just to help you manage the reading. You need to read chapters 4, 5, and 6, followed by chapters 7, 8, and 9. You also need to read, or at least review, the Spears article. This is on servant leadership. You'll be looking at this article again more heavily in week 4, but we do need to introduce it here in week 3, specifically pages 15 through 20. This will help you complete your group assignment that's due this week. And lastly, we have an article for you to read on how to give feedback to your team. This will be important at the end of our 8-week course, as you will be required to evaluate your team members. We want to introduce the article now, so with the last 5 weeks of class, you can start thinking about the types of evaluations that you'll be giving to the different peers in your groups. Week 3 assignments at a glance. As always, the quizzes are due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Again, you have a reading comprehension quiz, which is a format that you're already familiar with. And then you have that replacement quiz, which is that mini individual assignment, which I'll be walking you through here shortly. Again, on Friday, no work is due. However, you're always welcome to submit work early. And then by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., you have an individual assignment on negotiating social systems and a group assignment, which is a servant leader league presentation. And so let me take some time now to walk you through these different assignments. So if we look at Canvas for week 3, you'll see the assignments that you have due. Of course, we have quiz 5, and then here we have the replacement quiz. So let's look at the instructions for this replacement quiz. When you click on this link, it'll provide you with 2 different parts. This is a 2-step assignment. Step 1 is to complete an assessment on what type of power your supervisor uses, and then step 2 is your interpretation of those results. So step 1 will take you to the actual survey itself. And if you're not currently employed or have a supervisor to evaluate, you could alternatively think of a coach, an organizational president, or even a professor or an instructor to help you fill out this assessment. Once you're done with the assessment, you'll click on this second document, which is the interpretation. And so in this interpretation, what you want to do is actually focus on reporting your results. So you're going to be evaluated on the quality of your reflection and the degree to which you convey critical thinking and an understanding of the content from week 3's readings. Answers such as I agree or disagree with the assessment are really of no value unless you can explain why and provide evidence. So what we're looking for is that you give us the score that you found on the assessment and then type about 3 to 5 sentences and show critical thinking on how you feel about the score that your supervisor received. And so you can see that you have 10 questions here that you need to address, and then you'll upload that to Canvas. And again, this is a replacement quiz, so this is due by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. We go back into the assignments for week 3, then by Sunday you have an individual assignment and a group assignment. So again, if you click into the individual assignment, the assignment instructions are here, or you can scroll down and actually click on a link that will open up the Word document to walk you through it. This individual assignment on negotiating social systems is worth 20 points, and it's kind of a two-part assignment. First, we want you to think about an organization in which you belong, and we want you to create an organizational diagram or a map that kind of shows how the organization is laid out. And pages 27 and 28 of Cotter is a good example. We want you to identify the lateral relationships that you have. So who are the peers, the people at the same level? What are your relationships with your superiors? And then your relationships with your subordinates. We want you to discuss the importance and the role of diversity and interdependence in your organization. Once you've completed your map or your diagram, we want you to write an essay where you can provide evidence and support your conclusions on the fact that you understand how diversity and interdependence are related. Your explanation should be 325 to 350 words. At the end of your essay, we want you to type the number of words you used in your explanation. Please note that your final word count should only include the paragraph text, not the title or the heading. And then you'll submit this assignment on Canvas. And if you scroll down to page 2, we've given you an example of what that essay might look like. And you can see at the bottom in red, the student indicated that they used 331 words. And then of course they would have also had the organizational map as well attached to this. We just don't have an example of that because each organization is so unique. How you make these diagrams and maps will be very different from whatever organization you're thinking of. Then you also have your group assignment that is due this week. Again, you can get all of your information right here. And then if you click on the group assignment link, it will actually open up the Word document that walks you through it. So this group assignment is worth 20 points. And this assignment I think is going to be really fun. It's going to introduce you to servant leadership, which again you'll be focusing on heavily in week 4. And it was really inspired, the assignment was by watching an episode of The Big Bang Theory where the characters dress up like the Justice League. So Tiffany and I got to thinking, you should create a new Justice League called the Servant Leader League. So what we're asking each of you to do is to identify one semi-famous human person from real life that embodies servant leadership. This can be a person from history or someone who's still alive today. The only limitation is that it does have to be someone we can actually look up on Google, so we don't want you to be using any fictional characters. We know it's really easy that when we think of leadership, we automatically think of our parents, our high school teachers, or even religious people such as Jesus, but we're asking for you to think a little bit harder than that. And again, actually find a semi-famous human person, either from history or currently living, that you can apply servant leadership to. So we want you to understand the 10 characteristics of a servant leader as outlined by Greenleaf, and see if you can find anyone who really embodies all those principles. Again, this is where you're going to be using that Spears article to help you get a grasp on the 10 characteristics of servant leadership. And you'll find those within pages 15 and 20 of that article's reading. So you have a choice here as a group to either create a PowerPoint or to actually create about a 3-minute video if you're a group that meets face-to-face and wants to do a video recording. So what you want to do is you want to explain how your team of servant leader heroes would address one of 3 social justice problems, and we provide the social justice problems for you below. So here's the detailed instructions. We clearly lay out what's required of the assignment leader for the week, and then we clearly lay out what the individual group members need to do for the week. Now again, if you're going to be making a PowerPoint, on the slide, what you need to include is your servant leader hero's superpower, or their servant leader power, his or her experience, strength, and skills, and then that person's special interest or what their mission is. In the notes section of the PowerPoint slides, in 275 to 325 words, you will describe why the person you chose is a servant leader. And just like you did on your individual assignment for negotiating social systems, we want you to include your word count in red, so we know that you have the proper number of words. And here's an example of where to find the notes on a PowerPoint. So here's an example. Nicole's servant leader hero was Dean Kamen. His superpower was conceptualization through STEM. The experience, skills, and strengths are that he's an inventor, an entrepreneur, and an engineer. And his special interest is that everyone on the planet may have access to clean drinking water. Then down here in the notes section is where you would write the short little essay that describes why this person is a servant leader. Once each individual has identified who their servant leader hero is, as a group, you need to choose one of the following scenarios. We want you to apply servant leadership to a real-life situation. So you can research lead contamination of drinking water in Flint, Michigan. You can research the U.S. response to the Syrian refugee crisis, or you can research the lack of diversity among Oscar nominees. In at least one slide, you need to summarize information about the scenario. So we want you to do a little bit of research and cite 3 sources, but they don't have to be scholarly sources, they just need to be reputable. So these, again, will be listed in the notes section if you're not making a video. If you're making a video, then you would just talk about it and cite your references. And then you must also include at least one visual aid. One slide needs to explain the scenario, and then another slide needs to explain how each group member's servant leader league would use their powers to help address the issue. And then here we've provided you with the grading rubric so you know how the group is being assessed. And then you also have a unique opportunity here to earn a few extra credit points. You can earn 5 bonus points for creativity, aesthetics, and thoroughness. Really, we want you to have fun with this assignment and be as creative as possible. Not only have we provided you with the assignment instructions in detail, we also have provided you with a student example. So if you'd like to see an example of what former students have done, you can click on this link here, and then it will provide you with a PowerPoint presentation that some former students did. So here you can see that they did Ellen DeGeneres, and then down here in the notes section is where they type that information that we've asked for, that short essay. So we have Chris Kyle, Eleanor Roosevelt, they did the Flint Hills, and then here's how these heroes would help. And they identified how each hero would help with that situation. So the student example might help your group in thinking about how to organize the PowerPoint slide and what Tiffany and I are looking for. Well, that's really all I have time for week 3. Please don't hesitate to email us if you have any comments or questions, and I really look forward to seeing the work that you produce this week. Happy Memorial Day. Bye-bye.